that thing here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
But hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, our awards are coming in. Not for us. We don't get awards for doing radio. At least not today, we don't. Sorry to disappoint you, Paul, Andrew Barrett.
It's okay. I was going to pick up my tux from the dry cleaner today because I thought I was going to have an award show to go to.
Did you think you were up for something today, or you were just there to
root
somebody else on?
It's just hopefulness. You never know when you're going to need a clean tux to go to a show.
You're up for Best NBA Podcast.
Oh, yes.
Best NBA Podcast in Arkansas, specifically. These are Arkansas awards if we're going to do radio awards for us.
Well, then, I think I only have like one other podcast competition.
That's right.
But the good news is it sucks.
Okay, then I won. Yay!
You already have the best NBA podcast in Fort Smith, Fayetteville, Mount Home, Harrison, and Hot Springs.
Those are some awards. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, you take what you can get.
Can I add that to my LinkedIn account and like put it up on my Twitter?
You can put whatever you want on those things.
Okay.
I just wouldn't put the tuxedo on just yet because you might be the only person in attendance for this award ceremony. And you don't want to just dress up for yourself now, do you?
Well, I mean, how many times do I get to wear a tux? I mean, I spend a lot of money on the thing. I got to use it, right?
You actually own a tuxedo?
No, I don't.
Good, thank you.
No,
I was a little nervous about that for a moment. I do know.
I didn't actually go out and buy a tuxedo in case, just in case I won an award. That way I didn't have to scramble now.
Do you own a suit?
Yes, I own.
How many do you own?
4.
Wow. You still got some left over from your teenage years, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I could probably only fit into 2 of them, though. But I have all 4.
I'm not even embarrassed to say, like, I wear a suit so infrequently that I had to do something a little classy with my girlfriend, and we just went to the Goodwill, and I just had a tie and a white shirt. Like, this is the only time I'm going to be wearing it. Nobody's going to know.
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I have 2 black suits.
For that, you might as well get the clip on, too.
I have 2 black suits that I could still somewhat fit into, and then I have a tan suit, which I had to get when I was a bridesmaid a few years back, and I'll never wear that suit again unless I buy a yacht because I feel like that's the only place you can wear a tan suit is on the deck of a yacht.
I'm wearing just a smoking jacket and a robe if I'm on a yacht. That's just the way things are. Maybe we could have a award ceremony there.
Yeah.
How did I get off on this tangent? Oh, yes. Basketball awards are coming out. They already have. And you don't need a tuxedo for any of this because nobody's wearing a tuxedo inside Amalie Arena in Tampa for the SEC tournament, where these awards will be handed out on an individual basis by Greg Sankey. And, I mean, really, if you're going to be in the same building as Ty Richardson, who's wearing open-toed shoes for the basketball tournament.
You're overdressed, apparently.
Yeah, way overdressed. I think even just wearing regular shoes sounds to be a little overdressed.
You put socks on, overdressed. All casual down there in Florida.
I hope he doesn't take a picture of his feet while he's there for everybody to see. I made the mistake of that one time in Omaha. Yeah, we had a couple of days, 2018, between games, and my dogs were barking a little bit. You know, sometimes you just need
gotta let them breathe.
Hey, gotta let them breathe. A little love on the feet. I got myself a pedicure and I took a photo from the place. I said, I'd recommend going here. I even invited Bubba later on, but I don't think Bubba's into having anybody really touch his feet, and certainly I don't need to see those things either. And here I go off on tangents again. Congratulations! So we have our All SEC Coaches Awards have come out, and the Media Awards, the AP Awards, came out about 30 minutes later, and it's always fun to take a look at the difference between the two sets of votes here. And the first thing that stands out is you've got 9 players on the Coaches Awards on the coaches list for first team. That means somebody tied in the voting. They're not going to just bump them down to second team. So you got 9 players, all SEC first team. And for the first time since Scotty and Corliss, Arkansas's got 2 players on the first team. J.D. Note and Jalen Williams. Now, when it comes to the AP awards, they only have 5 players each on first or second team. And this also, Drew, goes to one of the questions I think you brought up yesterday about, is there a certain amount of guards, a certain amount of forwards, a certain amount of centers that you have
or just
to have.
5 best players.
Well, it's like you've got on the postseason baseball team.
Yeah, like an actual roster.
Yeah, you got a whole lineup of first base.
Like if this was an all-star game, can they actually fill out a roster, or are they going to be playing with 5 guards or 5 forwards?
Right, and it's positionless for the coaches. It is by position for the AP. So
I haven't seen the AP one. I've got the coaches all right up here in front of me.
I'll just read it for you here. So here's you got Note and Williams. This is the coaches on first team. Auburn is the other program with 2 players that made first team. Those being Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith. Kessler was Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC for blocking like half the shots were anywhere near him. Oscar Tshiebwe, obviously a choice for first team. He's Player of the Year in the SEC. Tari Eason, Iverson Molinar, Santiago Vescovi, and Scottie Pippen Jr. are the rest. So that's 9. Jalen Williams is not a first-teamer voted on by the AP. Tshiebwe and Jabari Smith are the 2 forwards there. Walker Kessler is the center. But Jalen is on the second team.
Okay, which I think we all agreed yesterday that's probably where he would finish.
Essentially, it's like this is all the same. If you've got 9 players first team voted by the coaches and a total of 10 players on first and second team for the AP, like everybody that's on the AP list
is in the first team.
Is essentially a first team, right?
Yeah,
so let's not be too upset that Jalen is behind Tshiebwe and Jabari Smith. I probably would have put those 2 ahead anyway.
I would have as well.
But as far as I'm concerned, he's first team, both of them. It's just different way to get the voting done.
It's just a different way of listing pretty much the exact same thing on, like we were talking about, at LinkedIn or Twitter, any type of award system. When you've got 9 on one list as a first team, then obviously those 9 plus 1 is what's going to make up the AP Team 1 and Team 2. And I don't, like I said, like we said yesterday, I don't think anybody should be that upset just because of, yes, Jalen Williams had a great season. I mean, a great season. What he did defensively, what he brought offensively on the boards, I mean, the double-doubles that he's had. But even those great statistic numbers, they really just don't match up to what Jabari Smith and Oscar Tshiebwe did this year. I mean, regardless of whether it was off the eye test, of whether it was just strictly from box scores collected throughout the season, you just have to take those glasses off and realize that Jalen Williams is probably the third best. Would be the 3rd or 4th best forward in this league, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, so I mean, anytime you mention the names Corliss and Scotty, everybody knows, the thing that separates them from any of the other great teammates in the history of Arkansas Razorback athletics. And
that's what I was pointing at, right?
I was wondering what it was you were pointing at there.
It's the ring
trying
finger.
To get a message across to me. He's pointing at his ring finger, which obviously that's where the championship thing goes, and that's going to separate him, aside from any of the other great sets of teammates. So you can be on your first team, and they both belong there. And it's been amazing to watch the 2 of them grow over these last 2 years. How JD has. I wouldn't say it's been seamless, but he goes from being a 6th-man guy to come off the bench and be an energy guy and a bucket while he's sat for a little bit, and now this year he's been the featured dude. And I feel like Jalen is also just – I mean, you could see that this was the kind of player he was last year when he got into the lineup, and he was a glue guy last year. It's just kind of it works out that way. But what is it that separates the 2 – from these 2? It's a championship. It's a run that goes a little bit deeper than last year. It's a run that gets you to the Final Four. It's a run that gets you to a national championship one year and finishing runner-up the next year. And it's not like they're going to be teammates maybe for another year, maybe, if JD decides to stick around.
We've hashed that argument out a lot.
There's no reason to get around. But let's just look at what's ahead of them right now. You've got a basketball team that's playing incredibly hot. The only 2 losses you've had recently have been on the road teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament. You're a defensive-oriented club. Depending on what happens with Audi's Tony, you're healthy going into the NCAA tournament. Like, he's probably not playing in the SEC.
Nor should he, because it's not really going to affect exceeding unless you win it all. And by winning it all, that means you take out Auburn and then possibly a second win against Kentucky.
Right. Well,
that's the only way you get up to a third seed. I think you're cemented right now at a 4. I think even losing the first round against what you're suspecting is going to be LSU, you're still going to be a 4. So seeding doesn't really matter. There's nothing really you can change. Yes, winning a trophy is nice, but it's not what you do the first week of March. It's what you do the second, the third, the last week, and the first week of April.
Well, and that's going to be the thing that ends up being, the thing everybody remembers them by. It's nice to be on this short list with Corliss and Scotty, 25 years apart, being named to the All-SEC coach's first team. Like, that means something.
It does.
But it will mean more if you're able to come even a little bit close to what Scotty and Corliss accomplished in March, which means they played at the end of March and in April twice. And that's awfully difficult to do.
It is.
Hopefully we'll see something a little bit close to that this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it happen. The only thing is that those Arkansas teams, those 2 years, those were front-runner teams. Top 5 almost all season.
Dominant.
This is different this year. You've had some ups and some downs, and you're going into the tournament as close to the top 10, but not quite there. You'll be a front-runner for a bit, but there will be a point where you're going to be going up against a team that probably has had a little more success than you. And when it was Corliss and Scotty, it was, you were the behemoth.
Basically, the easiest way of saying that is for the first 2 rounds, you're going to be in your whites. After that, if everything works out chalk, you're going to be in those road reds, right? Whereas Scotty and Corliss, they're in those home whites all the way through.
They certainly will. They were, and we will see what we don't know who they're playing yet. We don't even know who Arkansas is playing yet in the SEC tournament. But when the awards start to come down, you start to compare against some of the names from years past, and it's always the thing that's hanging above you. Last year it was you haven't been to the Sweet 16 in 25 years. There's one national championship, but now you've got a little line between the last team to advance to a championship game and this year's team, and it's Scotty and Corliss, JD and Jalen.
Yeah.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime today. We'll have Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joining us bottom of the hour from our friends at KNWA and Pig Trail Nation. Brought to you by BetUS Racing. Since we've got NCAA March Madness coming up soon, don't forget about their bracket contest, thousands of dollars in prizes. And with the Oscars coming up, you can also bet on who will win the Oscars at the Academy Awards, plus all the best odds on any sport that is available to gamble on these days. BUSR.com has it all for you. Safe, fun, and secure bets. Plus, if you're an ESPN Arkansas listener, you qualify automatically for an exclusive 100% deposit bonus. If you put in $100, you get $100 in your account from BUSR. Simple as that. Put in $500, get $500. Just got to use a special web address. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR. All right, halftime right back after this.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Tommy and Ty on the Morning Rush. Paint the game with a golden brush. Halftime field show, diamonds today. Strike 'em out, love to say. Russian sack are 2 insane skies. Hot score, I'm feeling so high. Going home wild on Dixon Street.
ESPN 95.3.
When it comes to COVID-19, there are several things you can do to protect yourself, your friends and loved ones, and your community. Wear a mask, wash your hands often, and continue to social distance when you are near other people. If you test positive or are exposed to COVID-19, you can get free, detailed information on what you need to do in order to prevent spreading COVID-19 to those around you. Just go to healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo-Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
It's time to get in the game, Fort Smith. Hi, Coach Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I'm a maniac for March basketball, but if I'm going to catch all the games, I need your help. So I've cooked up a 3-point plan to help you rebound from your old ride. 1, pick the perfect car for you from our huge inventory of Rath Road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. 2, pass me your old ride. 3, I'll come in with the assist and give you up to $3,300 more than appraised value. So if your old ride makes you feel second string, slam dunk your junk and start driving better today in a nicer, newer car from Rath Auto Resources. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for spring in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free AC check, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal's done at the buzzer. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends March 31st, 2022.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Takes great work ethic to make any job last 10 years, especially one in the NFL. Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. I spent 10 years playing in the NFL. Now I bring that same work ethic to Henderson Phillips to provide you and your business with the best employee benefit plans for the best prices. Call or text me at 479-651-2292, and let's talk about getting the most value for your employee benefits. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today at 479-651-2292.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The Must Bus is on the road, and so are we. Our live coverage at the SEC Tournament in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks in Rogers.
I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future is coming on. I ain't happy.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Oh, man, I think the first-round draft choice of Jordan Love is going to go down as one of the weirdest of all time, because all that seemed to do was just motivate
weird stuff,
Aaron Rodgers even further, and he's apparently signing with Green Bay, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. If it comes from Pat McAfee, then it comes from Aaron Rodgers. I guess McAfee was the first to release this earlier this morning.
Ian Rappaport released the 4-year, $200 million, making the highest paid player in NFL history. McAfee then tweeted out, I think 5 minutes later, that saying the report is not true according to the source. According to his source, obviously meaning Aaron Rodgers, but then tweeted out that according to my sources, I don't know why I say sources. We know you have Aaron Rodgers'
Can't
number.
he just say according to Aaron Rodgers?
Just say according to Aaron Rodgers. He says will officially return to the Packers. There is no deal in place currently, and there is said to be a cap-friendly deal on the way. Retirement was a real consideration in the end.
Cap-friendly deal, and the words highest paid player in NFL history, along with $200 million, along with $153 million guaranteed, do not work in my mind. But then again, I don't understand everything about the NFL salary cap. I don't even know if the guys who are the capologists understand everything about it.
It's quite hard. You really do have to be a very good accountant and be very good with numbers and all that other business mumbo jumbo, because I feel like I have a basis understanding, because I feel like when you work in sports, and especially when you deal with the major leagues of sports, that you have to know what cap space is and all the restriction and unrestricted free agents and everything that else goes into that. But when I hear that a team is $15 million under the cap space, but they don't have any room to make moves, but then a team that's $20 million over the cap space, they're going to go out and sign a big agent, none of it ever makes sense. So I just believe whatever somebody tells me. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense, I guess. When it really doesn't.
All I see is $38.25 million per year, just off the guaranteed money alone. You know, I don't remember exactly what Roethlisberger's contract was worth, but it wasn't that far off from it, something in the 30s. But I mean, that it's usually that one big contract or a couple of big contracts from 2-3 players that overweight the cap to where teams end up with needs in other areas. You know, that's why the Steelers kind of stunk on the offensive line, and they were paying their quarterback a little bit too much money for not enough production. You could look at the Cowboys with all the money they've put into quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and there's some other issues going on with that team. So I mean, I hear cap friendly, but I don't know if I see a number that's very cap friendly. If you also consider that they need. I mean, does this also mean Devontae Adams is coming back with the Packers? Because that was supposed to be, like you're not letting Rodgers' favorite target go if you're bringing him back. So how cap friendly will Adams' deal be at the same time? I guess you could franchise him, you could transition him. I mean, those are the other things that we try to remember about all these tags that go along with it that are team friendly and certainly not very player friendly.
But, I mean, when you get franchise tags, it's not like you're getting taken advantage of a lot of time. You make I think it's right above average of what your position makes.
Yeah, but you do, I mean, you're making great money, but you do lose the ability to negotiate at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, for 1 year. I mean, you can't franchise tag somebody multiple times over and over
again. I'll take the $25 million this time. I mean, whatever.
As long as I get 35 next year. Like, it's all stupid money. I mean, when you really start to think about it, it's compared to normal people like us and the people out there listening, it's all ridiculous, stupid money. But the thing is, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and these numbers, let's say maybe Pat McAfee is right and the deal hasn't been reached, but that's what is being thrown out there. $200 million in 4 years. Is Aaron Rodgers, and I know this is going to sound stupid, seeing the fact that Aaron Rodgers is the defending MVP. Is he worth it? Is he worth 4 years at his age? I mean, are you banking that you're going to get 4 years at the back end of a career like you got out of like New England and then Tampa got out of the last 4 years of Tom Brady? I mean, can you really bank on that to really put all your eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, especially with the drama and stuff that he brings? Who's to say he's not going to just want to early retire next year?
Can we compare this to Peyton Manning with the Broncos? I mean, they got 4 years out of him. They got an MVP season. They got 2 Super Bowls, including a Super Bowl title. He wasn't great the year they won the Super Bowl, but he was an MVP the year before that.
That's true.
I mean, and he was coming off of neck surgery, and that's the other thing too. Like Rodgers didn't have any of those major surgeries anytime recently that you got to worry about, and it didn't look like a guy who's just 38 years old. He's got the brain of a 38-year-old quarterback, but I think he's a bit younger than that, at least physically. And you make the point about you're giving up a lot of money for this one position, but it just it obviously means so much. I think
it does, but it's also for a team that always feels like they're one weapon away, they're one extra piece away, and they've had Aaron Rodgers that whole time. And yeah, it's great that he wins MVPs, that he wins regular season games, but when you haven't been in a Super Bowl in over a decade, how valuable are you? Because if you're always that one piece away, then I mean, could we not find somebody just a little bit below you for money-wise and go get that one said piece?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I mean, you're going to try to trade for another quarterback or whatnot, but if they didn't have Aaron Rodgers, it was going to be Jordan Love.
Of course.
And there's no way that they win that division, or come anywhere close to where they've been with Rodgers, with Jordan Love at quarterback right now. He got a chance last year. He didn't look all that good. It's not like that's exactly what he was going to be like, but it just makes it. I think in the Packers' mind, they had to acquiesce to some demands for him because they knew what was behind him, and I don't think they liked what they saw behind him. So I mean, it's good. I mean, and JT makes a point here. He says now he wants 4 years. He's contemplating a retirement. NFL contracts, they're kind of like.
How seriously was he about retirement? I mean, come on. I don't really believe that he was considerously going to hang him up and ride off into a sunset, go host Jeopardy, and do other weird things.
He's too into the spotlight.
He is.
I think he's too into.
He doesn't want to be left alone, regardless how many times he says he wants us to. He wants us to keep asking.
Well, there is another thing. I think that, and we're not competitors in this way, so I think he knows that one more Super Bowl championship could catapult him. Like once you win that second one, along with some of those numbers that he's got, then people can kind of begin accepting some of the second greatest of all time kind of argument. Like Roethlisberger's not in that category, but Peyton Manning certainly is, and winning a second Super Bowl title, I think, is a piece of that. So the fact that he hasn't even played in one since 2009, I think that's got to be a bit of a motivating factor too. Because while you still got it, you think you can still go get it and add to that legacy. Because another MVP, what is that going to do for his legacy? Another NFC North championship, what does that do for his legacy? Playing in a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, I think
that's a lot.
Yeah, the money, obviously, it means something to him because I don't think it would have held out.
I mean, nobody's passing up on multi-million-dollar. Yes. I know it's stupid money to us, but if somebody offered us that money, it wouldn't be that stupid anymore because it'd be reality.
All right, let's take the break because we've got Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joining halftime right after this.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-hour energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips,
are we there yet?
Safety comes first. 5-hour energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
O'Reilly. This is Claudia's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
I had just moved to a new city and barely even knew where the grocery store was yet. When my car wouldn't start one morning, I didn't know who to ask about local shops. But I remembered a name from back home, O'Reilly Auto Parts. I called and they pointed me to a great mechanic just down the street. Now I feel a little more at home.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Really happy to announce that Manscaped is now supporting the Hit That Line podcast network. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they're offering you the new Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle Performance Package. Join over 4 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Just enter the code HTL at manscaped.com. Again, that's HTL at manscaped.com. I think if my math's right, that's 8 million balls. Inside this package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Provider toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Boxers and Shed travel bag are a free addition, and they bring it to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with...
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, we're happy to bring on Mike Irwin, one of the legendary sports media members across the state of Arkansas from Pig Trail Nation. He probably doesn't like us putting it in those terms, but you got to be honest sometimes. Mike, appreciate you coming on Halftime today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Are there really any legends in the media in this state? Orville was a legend. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, just give it a couple of years. They'll start naming press boxes after you, too. If they offered to name a press box after you somewhere, like Orville Henry, would you take that?
Maybe if it was baseball, because I like going to Bomb Walker and, it's cool, but I don't know. It's kind of silly, really.
They'd have to name the area that you stand shooting highlights, because I know you kind of have to be there behind home plate shooting the highlights there, so you'd have to have like a little our named after you there.
Well, that's a new thing. We had Jason with us for many years. He sort of ran things at our operation there, and he liked to shoot. So I didn't have to shoot much, but he's gone now, and I've been shooting a lot more. I think I was on my feet for about 6 hours in that doubleheader, and at my age, my knees, my feet, I felt it when I went home that night.
Is there any exercises you could recommend to media members who are sore from standing up too much? Because my baseball partner, Bubba Carpenter, he never sits down. He never sits down, Mike, but he still has a little athleticism to him. I don't know if he ever lost that. But, are there any stretches I'd need to do from standing up too much? Because my back's been bothering me.
I just do knee bends, try to do the ankle thing with your ankle, raise yourself up, on your toes. I don't know if that helps. I mean, here's the thing. You're probably going to be fine until you hit somewhere around 70. I told somebody a few years ago, hey, there's a buddy that I grew up with. I said, I don't feel any different, really, than I did. Maybe if I had to go out and run, I would notice the difference. But in the last 3 or 4 years, you get up about 70, things start happening, and you just don't have the stamina that you once had.
I feel that way about 45. So give me another few years, and maybe we'll see what's going on. All right, let's get to some of the stuff going on with Razorback sports now. Now, you made a point on your most recent Ask Mike that I hear so often when it comes to the SEC baseball tournament, which is it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. And I think for this year's Arkansas basketball team, I think you make a very good point. Now, it's not the case every year because a couple of victories might move your seed up in some cases. I feel like for Arkansas and for almost every other team that's got the double bye in the SEC tournament, like the regular season right now should stand for itself. And I think the way that Arkansas has performed certainly in the last 16 games, like that should stand for itself for the committee. Is that where you're coming from?
I think if they end up being one and done, I assume they're going to play LSU. If they lose that game, they're projected 4 seed right now. They drop to a 5. What's the difference there? The problem that you always have in the NCAA basketball tournament is even when the field is set and you can look at all those names and all the seedings, you don't really know until you start playing games how it's going to play out, because every year there are teams that overachieve, teams that underachieve. There are upsets, especially in the first round. So even if you get in a good position, what you think is a good position, a good bracket, a good spot in a bracket, that doesn't mean anything until it happens. So I don't see the difference between a 4 seed and a 5 seed mattering much. It might in retrospect, but there's no way to know that now. Here's the thing that Dave Van Horn always talked about is you go wear yourself out in the SEC baseball tournament when you maybe got a regional coming up that next week, and you got to have arms rested and all that. Why would you do that? Well, basketball is a little bit the same way. I mean, they have this week to rest up, which is good. That's the benefit of making the quarterfinals automatically. And if they go one and done, the same thing happened next week. So they'll have fresh legs.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, when you've had the regular season that Arkansas has had, you've kind of cemented yourself. I think that there's nothing they can really do, especially if it's the one and done against LSU. I think they're going to stay at the 4, but until you know the matchups, it's all up in the air. And even then, that's why it's called March Madness for a reason. But Mike, how concerned are you, and do you think people should be with Audie Stoney not playing on Saturday? Probably not going to play in the SEC tournament, I guess, unless they go on a run and make it to Sunday or, past that. How worrisome should people be about him?
I would be worried if he's not available for the NCAA tournament. That's what I'd be looking at, and I'm sure that's what's on Musselman's mind. Again, I mean, we just talked about it. There's this thing with LSU. They're gunning for Arkansas. They're mad. They felt like they blew the game. It's hard to beat somebody 3 times in the season. Fans get caught up in this, and it means probably more to them. I'm not saying you could never get players to say publicly, we don't want to win this game, we don't care, whatever. But if you've got it running through your head and you understand how this thing works, I just don't see that they're sitting there with the same sort of emphasis that LSU has. LSU has stuff to prove. I mean, they've had a very disappointing season, and Arkansas is a part of that. To lose to them twice, to lose to them 3 times would be terrible for them and would hurt them, moving forward. So they got more incentive than Arkansas does for sure.
Mm-hmm. And with Tony being out, especially for the first game on Friday, and hopefully no more past that, but if, let's say, they had to go into the NCAA tournament without him in that first round, can they make up the productivity with KK and with Jackson? Like, I feel like they tried to on Saturday, and with playing, Devo a little bit more. Can they make up the productivity, especially when KK and Jackson have played like less than 10 minutes combined between the two of them in a month?
It's maybe what we've seen from this team. We've seen games where Note went to the bench, and we thought there's no way that overtime game. I think it was A&M. It's been so long ago. You think there's no way you can win this thing in overtime without him at all. He was on the bench for large stretches of other parts of games, and they figured out a way to do it. So, maybe they could do it, but you sure don't want to have to. I just hope he's okay, in the next few days. That's what you have to hope for.
You mentioned it. You think LSU's gunning for Arkansas, and they certainly are because it's right there on their schedule. If they if they win their first game, they get the Razorbacks, and they want them badly. But man, I feel the same about Auburn. I think Kentucky does too, and you don't play them unless you win at least a game or two in the tournament if you're Arkansas. But I mean, I'm reading things from Auburn. They felt quote unquote disrespected by the Razorbacks and Razorback fans. Calipari's talked about how Arkansas got some of their toughest opponents at home this year. Tennessee already got their crack at the Razorbacks after losing at home. I just have a sense that even though Auburn won the league in the regular season, I feel like they're gunning for Arkansas right now, too.
I think a little bit of what's going on there is the knowledge by those players and even their coaches. We've now seen Bud Walton the way it always could be, the way it used to be. And I sat here all through 2005, 10, 15, arguing with people who said they should take some of the seats out and make it cozier, blah, blah, blah. And I kept telling them the right coach is going to come in here eventually, and you're going to fill that place up, and it's going to be like no other arena in the SEC. Our Nick Petriccioni was at the Tennessee game. He came back and told me flat out, and he's not a guy that would exaggerate. 21,000 in there in Thompson Bowling, it's still not Bud Walton. And I think a lot of those coaches and those athletes, they came in and they got a dose of that, and they know they don't have that at their place. So there's some sniping going on. Good. Let them do it. If Musk keeps this thing going, I can really see it going back to Nolan levels. Those of us who remember what that was like, that early 90s to 95 run, was heady stuff. It was fabulous, and I just hope we're headed back in that direction.
Do you think this is a team that we haven't played many neutral site games? Maybe you'd say playing in Tulsa was neutral. But maybe I think in Kansas City, that's about it. This team feeds off the energy at Bud Walton. That's obvious. They are not really poorly affected on the road too often. When it's happened, they've bounced back and they've come from behind and made it a tight game, even in losses. Neutral site games, tournament site games, man, that's a little bit different. Is that anything you think could affect this team at all?
Possibly, because one of the things that if you travel and cover teams in the NCAA tournament, there is this weird thing that happens if you followed them all year long, in that you've gone to road games, you've gone to home games, and you see the atmosphere at other places and your place, and then you get to the NCAA, and a lot of times it's a neutral atmosphere. Really neutral.
Like quiet.
You get you get to a place where people have bought those tickets locally because it's kind of promoted as an event there, so they get corporate tickets, and then they distribute them, and people are going in there and just sort of munching on their popcorn and deciding who they like. A lot of times it takes a group of fans in an arena about half of the first quarter to decide who they want to pull for. And it's usually the underdog, a team they perceive as an underdog. And then they'll get behind that team. But it's not like, you're right, it's not like what you're used to. And it's hard to say how that would affect players, because I've seen atmospheres that were completely dead. And you're sitting there thinking, people are watching this at home, and they can jack the audio up, and everybody thinks it's, a typical basketball environment, and it's not.
No, it's definitely not. It's one of those situations where you've got to bring your own guts, bring your own type of motivation. And Mike, with the coaches and the AP awards coming out, obviously with the coaches, Jalen and JD are on that 9-man first team. And this is the first time since Scotty and Corliss were on the first team ballot together, the two Arkansas players have made that list together. Where do you think JD and Jalen will kind of rank as far as best tandem in Arkansas history, now that they've got that accolation to add to the list of things that they've done together in these past two seasons?
I think we still have to see how the season plays out. if they go deep into the tournament, they'll be right up there. You know, my thinking on this goes all the way to Moncrief, Delph, and Brewer, the original Brewer. I mean, then you think about all these great players. But to me, I've never had an interest in comparing them. I just put them all up there in kind of a, you know, I don't want a best or a second best or whatever. They're just all up there. And there's a group of them in my head. And these guys are right there on the edge of that because of what they've done, the way they've fought, the way this team has come back from being 0-3. And mainly what I like about all of these guys, including the transfers, is they have given the people, they've given Razorback fans their basketball program back. This program was broken. It was even broken before Musk got here. There might have been some decent years, but if you remember what it was broken. And he's, in a very short period of time, given them their program back. He's filled that arena up. He's given Hunter Yurachek second thoughts, hopefully, about reducing the number of seats in there. I hope he doesn't do that because we now see what that place is like. Let Auburn have its little jungle of 8,000. Go away, leave us alone. Come here and tell us about a jungle. You know, we've got the whole continent. We got the whole African continent here, not just a little jungle. A whole jungle on a whole continent. You know, this is a big place.
I really like how you put it there, too, because it's, I mean, Auburn bragging about their atmosphere and all that. It was like, you know, I could put 6 people in a closet and it's going to be really loud. It's kind of the same thing. So, and Bud Walton's certainly no closet, that's for sure.
You look at all the schools that are doing that. It's become trendy. Texas is moving out of their 16,000-seat arena to go to one that's 10,000. Baylor's getting rid of a 9,000 arena to go to a 7,000-seat arena because they've all been convinced that cozy is the new way to go. I don't know. I don't like it.
They'll say ticket demand. We'll be like, well, if you're really, really good, the demand for tickets ought to be there too. Hey, Mike, we got to run. Appreciate your time. Thanks so much, and would love to do this again when you got a moment.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You got it.
Appreciate
Mike
it,
Irwin from Pig Trail Nation, our affiliates here at ESPN Arkansas. For some reason, we have sent at ESPN Arkansas Ty Richardson to Tampa, Florida for the SEC basketball tournament. He'll be there. We'll have coverage on halftime and also with Ruskin and Zach. Coverage in Tampa is presented by Crane Hyundai, Crane Kia, and Crane Volkswagen, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks and Rogers. That's probably the best place to be watching these games. And, hey, today is Championship Tuesday. You got a bunch of championship games on Championship Week. And you can watch that at Twin Peaks and Rogers. We'll have special pre- and post-game coverage on our air and online from the SEC tournament on ESPN Arkansas and on hitthatline.com. And we're going to wrap the first hour of halftime right after this.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half-price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Spring is here and Breeden RV is having the first sale of the year. New inventory is arriving weekly and is immediately priced to sell. Just like new Keystone Springdale starting at $164 a month. Need something for your toys? Breeden RV has new toy haulers starting at $239 a month. And don't forget about the exclusive maintenance for life on all new RVs. Breeden RV also has the best selection of pre-owned RVs in the River Valley, fully prepped and ready to camp. Give the service department a call at 479-262-2418 and get your RV ready for a great year. Breeden RV, where adventure begins. See dealer for complete details.
Get back in there at once and sell!
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Have you heard about these houses that have received dozens of offers and sold for tens of thousands over list price? First Western Mortgage knows it's hard to find a discount of any kind in a housing market this hot. That's why First Western encourages you to shop around for the best rate and the lowest fees, and to give them a chance to potentially save you thousands of dollars. Give First Western Mortgage a call today at 479-936-2040 to be connected to their local lenders throughout Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. First Western Mortgage is an equal housing lender.
For a limited time, Art's Barbecue and Burgers is serving up some great combo platters with all your favorite choices from Art's. Ribs and brisket, catfish and brisket, pulled pork and brisket, plus catfish and ribs. And you can add a hot link, sausage, or 2 tamales to any of the combo platters. Make your combo plate any way you want it to be. And don't forget, every Friday night is all-you-can-eat catfish at Art's. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. Real smoked barbecue.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Get down, 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 get down.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 championship games today, this afternoon, and this evening.
A lot of tickets being punched.
Finals Tuesday.
Here we go.
With that. You got 15 championship games on Saturday, and the rest are left over for Monday or for Sunday.
Which ones you watching today? What do you got?
I mean, I'd like to watch the West Coast Conference Championship, St. Mary's Gonzaga. That's
too
the
late.
One team in the country. 8 o'clock? Too late? I guess so. Come on. Hey, I complain about Arkansas games at 8 o'clock. I should complain about that one.
Exactly.
So that's actually pretty early for out there on the West Coast.
That is true. A lot of Gonzaga games don't start till like 10. That's 8 out there.
That's a 6 o'clock tip for Pacific time.
Yeah, I guess they're trying. I'll give it to them. I'll watch the first half.
Summit League's the same. San Diego State versus North Dakota State. We know who Stanley Amude is going to be rooting for. Although he went to South Dakota.
He went to South Dakota State.
We get those things so confused.
North Dakota State, those are the Bisons. They're the good ones in football. South Dakota State is the Jackrabbits, and they're the better ones in basketball.
Are you sure the Bison is North Dakota State and not North Dakota?
Promise you. North Dakota State is the Bisons. They're green and yellow. They play in the indoor stadium. The North Dakota are the Coyotes.
Now, I remember calling a baseball game with Arkansas versus North Dakota. They do have a baseball team at North Dakota. And I filled in for Chuck for that. They didn't have a team name. I think they used to be named after a Native American tribe. Well, they were named after a Native American tribe, and they had to change the name. But the year that they came to play against Arkansas, they hadn't settled on a name yet, so they were just North Dakota. That was it. It was like,
they didn't go with baseball team
and
or baseball club?
The North Dakota, they're not the Sioux anymore, Chris. They used to be. Chris just texted that in.
I want to say it's either University of North Dakota or University of South Dakota are the Coyotes. I know one of the two is a Coyote.
Well, I remember, so I worked for another baseball team that had a team name that you felt weird calling it. It's not that it didn't have a team name. It was the Mudville 9 in Stockton, California. That's supposedly where the whole Casey at the Bat story did take place. When Ernest Lawrence Thayer covered a game for the San Francisco Examiner and all of that. It would supposedly took place in Stockton. So the team name in Stockton for years has usually been the Stockton Ports because it's a port city. But also, for 2 years, they were called the Mudville 9, one of the years I worked there. And it's like calling a team the 9 is a little weird sounding.
Not even the Mudville Niners?
Not the Niners, just the 9.
But there's 9 positions, but there's more than 9 people on the team.
Well, we had like 25 players on the team. Sometimes with injuries, we carried 30. You're not going to call them the Mudville 30, are you? The Dirty 30 was a nasty ballpark. That could have worked well.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, you just called them Mudville all the time.
But back to this basketball, though. I don't know about you, but I've actually been enjoying watching these mid-major championship games. And I've got to, of course, give a shout-out to the Mrs.'s alma mater, University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, for the buzzer beater last night.
The Mocs.
The Go Mocs, baby. Got to get. She'd be so mad if I didn't mention it.
That was a nutty last minute. How about that?
Oh, it was insane.
Set off a raucous celebration with our friend Tom Hart on the call.
Poor Foreman, though. 1980 since the last time they've been to the dance. Only since 2016. The Mocs had been since their last trip to the NCAAs. But
maybe we'll have a few great moments like that because it's all, not one bid league because the West Coast says it could be one bid. But the other 5 leagues that are getting their championship on tonight, one bid league, and that makes the championship games, I think, a little bit more fun.
I do, too.
Even when it's big time. All right, we'll get into the second hour of halftime, so stay with us.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. Chance of seeing some scattered rain, especially across the south. Our high today in the upper 40s to low 50s. Could see a little wet weather tonight. And overnight low will drop down into the low to mid 30s. And then Wednesday, sunny skies are high 55 to 59. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour halftime underway on a Tuesday. No guests, just you and us. And we've got a little information on the teams that we were trying to figure out the names from the last segment. Because, I mean, look, when you've got an NDSU and an NDU, or UND, when you've got a USD and an SDSU, and that's not even San Diego and San Diego State, which also gets a little confusing sometimes. We found that yesterday.
We did.
With the opening at Eric Musselman's alma mater, which is USD, the Toreros, not the Aztecs. You put an extra S in there. So South Dakota and North Dakota, which, by the way, I have learned this the hard way. You do not refer to those two states when you are speaking to another person from those states as the Dakotas.
You don't?
That pissed her off.
But that's what most people refer to them as.
I don't know if people from the Dakotas actually call them the Dakotas when they're there. It's different from the folks who live in the Carolinas.
I was about to say, you say the Carolinas when you're talking about North and South.
It was a buddy of mine. It was a friend of mine's now ex-wife, and I knew she was from there, and I remember telling her about a drive I had taken when I moved out to Montana to work for the minor league team in Helena. I drove through North Dakota. Didn't stop, because why?
Because why would you?
On the way back, I drove through South Dakota and did stop to see the Black Hills and Mount Rushmore.
Because you should.
Because. So I remember detailing this little thing to her and referred to it. I drove through the Dakotas. She was like, where are the Dakotas? Never heard of the Dakotas. I'm like, wait a minute, where are you from? She was from somewhere in North Dakota. I had pissed her off.
Did you say, if I was married to you, I'd divorce you?
And your buddy really picked up on that?
No, but her husband definitely might have told her that a couple years later.
It's a good thing he got out of it while he could.
Or was it her that told him that? I can't remember all the details, nor do I need to.
Well, if you're going to get mad over something as small as calling it the Dakotas, when less than 1% of the whole population is from there, and I'm guessing only about 5% of the population of this country has ever even been there, you don't really have a leg to stand on. You're not from the most hopping place.
I'll bet this gal got bent out of shape about a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet that was just one thing on a very, very long list of things that she had a problem with.
She probably got mad that, because I've heard North Dakota's accent kind of can be a little closer to Minnesota than anything, and I'm sure
Minnesota.
I'm sure she gets frustrated when she gets confused for Minnesotan or like a Wisconsin people, like those weird.
That's a lovely
almost
accent
Canadian
you have.
accent.
Australia.
Well, now am I too particular when I get a little ticked off when somebody texts my hometown to me and leaves the H off of Pittsburgh? Is that okay, or is that
that's
too
not
much?
No, that is okay because that's not how you spell Pittsburgh. There is a Pittsburgh state without an H.
Every other Pittsburgh has no H on it.
Yes, but you're not from that Pittsburgh. You are from Pittsburgh, PA, which has an H on it.
I'll be honest. I get kind of annoyed when the abbreviation for Arkansas is like AK.
Oh, come on.
That drives me crazy.
Too. Yeah. That should drive everybody crazy.
Because it's not, because that's Alaska.
They'll do it in news stories. It's like national news stories referring to Arkansas, and they'll put our initials as AK.
Come on, people.
Blows off. Yeah.
Breaking news in Little Rock, Alaska.
Come on, journalists.
I think
I still have my AP Bible. Where's yours? Every media member should still carry around his AP media guidebook.
I think by now we should all know the abbreviations for the 50 states.
I feel like I know them all. I don't know if you could.
I don't think I'd be stumped.
Me. Yeah.
Well, I'm allowed the H at the end of Pittsburgh, and we are all allowed to be angry when anybody refers to Arkansas as Arkansas, especially those in Kansas who refer to the river in a very weird way. Oh, look, I know we've got Charlie on hold. Just hold on just one extra moment here, Tuna, because we've got a texter who's right now in Fargo, North Dakota, listening. How do you like that? The frozen tundra. Interesting place for a southern gent.
Stay away from the wood chippers, though.
His name is Dutch. I'm going to guess that he's not the only man named Dutch in Fargo, North Dakota.
I'm going to guess. Now, this was one of my pet peeves, just like hers is calling it the Dakotas, yours is leaving off the H. I don't like it when people say frozen tundra, because tundra means frozen ground. Ground can't be double frozen. It's just tundra, people.
Well, wait, if the potato can be twice baked, I think ground can be twice frozen.
That's a potato. Potato ground, not even potato.
I think it's frozen and then thawed and refrozen again. Would be refrozen tundra. It hits a little bit harder when you land on the ground and it's double frozen.
Yeah.
And Hacker and Harrison, enough with put the H at the end of Pittsburgh the next time you text us. Otherwise, we've got ways to block your phone number from 877-377-6963. Grr. Let's go to Charlie. Hey, Tuna, how are you?
What's up, guy? Hey, that dude's definitely doing that to get under your skin, Phil. Hey, he knows that makes you mad. And hey, I'll tell you what about those Canadians. You guys were talking about them. You know, I was at a bar one night drinking with a buddy of mine, and them darn Canadians, they come in and they struck up a conversation with two guys. No, don't think this is not weird, Drew. Don't think of it that way.
I'm not.
But good Lord, they could buy some shots. And I don't remember getting home that night. I just remember stopping on the side of the road and puking my guts out on the way home. Those were the nicest guys ever. They bought us so many shots, I don't even remember what happened that night. But anyway, that's
statute of limitations for the moment, Charlie. Good thing we've got that thing going.
That's not one of my proud moments in life, but those Canadians, they're really nice. But, you know, I think sometimes these people, we're all human. Just let it go. I mean, I like everybody from everywhere. So, you know, I like Phil from Pittsburgh with an H. I like Drew from Memphis with
an east-west.
Where are you from, Maddie?
I grew up in the Little Rock, Arkansas region.
Oh, okay. The Little Rock, Arkansas region. Okay.
He's just a kid from the 501.
That's right, yeah.
I've heard they're built different. Is that true?
We're built different in central Arkansas.
That's what Mr. Richardson likes to say.
Yeah, Memphis, the only part of Memphis I know anything about is Germantown. So, anyway.
My dad's from Germantown.
Great commissary there.
Anyway, I was going to say, Drew, do you remember what I said Friday? Didn't the Tuna make a prediction that Arkansas will come up a bit short on Saturday? Now,
yeah, you did.
I didn't know it was going to be in the fashion that it was. I didn't think we'd be getting our butts kicked in the first half. But I'll tell you what, this team, to make the run that they did in the second half, I'm sure must just challenge them. And, you know, not Memphis, but I'm sorry, Drew. I know this upsets you. Tennessee is a great basketball team, and they are so good at home. And I wasn't surprised that, you know, how hot they were early. I was just kind of surprised that kind of how we played in that first half. But you know what? This team, you know, they just didn't give in. And they, you know, one thing I don't understand, though, guys, I'm not criticizing much for the play call here. I wish he would have called that same exact play for JD, but going left. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Jimmy Dykes made a good comment during the commentary. When he goes left or on that left wing, he shoots a way higher percentage than he does dribbling to the right, which is, you know, it makes sense. And I wish they would have called that same exact play to the other side. But anyway, if you're going to go for the three there. But anyway, every coach is different. So I'm not criticizing much. You know, we just didn't make the shot. And I would have personally probably went for a quick two and then tried to, you know, foul or do something else. But anyway, it happened. And it was a great comeback. And we made it, you know, you know, the thing is, I don't know how serious, you know, Arkansas takes the SEC tournament from the standpoint of, obviously you want to win it, but 3 games in 3 days is hard. And, you know, the teams that are fighting for their lives, you know, those are the ones that, you know, really need to try to win this thing. But, Phil, as far as the girls go, they didn't have a bye, did they? They played the first day or the second day?
Yeah, they played the second day. I mean, the bottom 4 in the standings have to play first.
Yeah.
So they did get a bye, not the double bye.
Yeah, so they're kind of in the position LSU is going to be in, which I think, and who knows, but I we don't know what's going to happen, but I think LSU will be the team that, we play, and that's going to be a tough one. But, as far as how we do in this tournament, obviously that's going to, I think if we lose the first one, I still don't think we drop below a 4. But if we were just to say win the tournament, just predict, just throwing that out there, I think that could get this team up to a 3 or possibly even a 2. And that's just my opinion. I think you win the tournament, 3 games in 3 days. That's what.
Well, look,
what
if
I'm
you
going
win,
with.
if you
Anyway,
win the tournament, then you've probably beaten a Kentucky again,
Yep.
and maybe an Auburn again. I don't know if you're going to move up to a 2. You're going to need
probably a 3 or a high 3.
I think a 3 is about the best that you'll be able to get.
But I don't think they move. I don't think they move down unless they just get blown out by LSU. Then maybe they drop to a 5. But I don't see them moving too much. I think they've done a great job this year. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. I'll hang up and listen.
Appreciate it, Charlie.
So, I mean, look, there's this theory that playing the entire conference tournament, even if it's 3 games in 3 days, is a negative, for a team that's trying to make it to the Final Four. Houston did it last year. Baylor did not. Gonzaga only needed 2 wins for their conference championship. Of course, they went all the way to the finals. UCLA lost in the first round and their first game in the Pac-12 before making their run, which not a lot of people saw coming. I think it's different for different teams, and I don't think that baseball and basketball are the same thing. You play 3 games in 3 days in basketball. You rest 5 or 6 after that. Yes, there's travel involved in it too, but it's a different thing. There's only so many.
They're not sitting on a bus for 9 hours.
Well, the baseball players aren't either. You play in the national tournament, you fly, but it's also there's the pitching. It's the pitching thing that just changes things. Because if you play on a Sunday in the SEC championship game, then you're playing 5 days later in a game that you're supposed to mean more. It's the pitching that changes things up. I think 5 days, playing 3 games in 3 days, quite often, 5 days is enough rest to be ready to go if you're not a banged-up team. Now, with that said, I think you need to have depth. And if there's no Adis Toney,
where are you getting that productivity? Can you trust Jackson and KK? I mean, and can you trust even a guy like Trey Wade, who we've loved, for what he brings defensively, but his minutes have started to drop because he is starting to become somewhat of an offensive liability because he's not putting up the shots, which you don't need him to do. But even just the 8 to 10 points that Adis Toney was able to give you on a regular basis have to come from somewhere. And you don't think they're really going to come from Trey Wade. You don't know if they're going to be, if KK or Jackson are going to be able to get hot. And we both know that on paper, they're very good shooters. Is it time for Devo to really turn on that switch? I think he's gotten close to turning it on, but he hasn't truly become what we know he can be. And maybe if Devo can solidify himself as that solid 4th guy behind Amude, Williams, and J.D. Note, then you might be fine. But if you can't make it up, then I don't know.
I see some cases earlier in like the baseball conference tournament where Dave and whoever the pitching coach is that year will use that as an opportunity to get some younger pitchers work who haven't had a chance to pitch throughout the season. It's not necessarily what they did last year because they did play to win it and ended up winning it. With basketball, by now, you feel like your rotation is mostly set. I just don't know how much you get out of KK, how much you get out of Jackson, but it's the depth and it's the energy. It's energy that you certainly feel like you'd like to conserve. I don't think you want everybody out there like 35, 36, 37 minutes a game, and then 5 days later, that's the thing. Like the one aspect for Arkansas right now that might be a concern, and with an injury to one of the starters, it does become a concern. I don't want to call it a lack of depth talent on the team. It's guys that haven't been on the court enough to have a sense that they can do something positive for you right now, because KK continues to foul and Jackson has just been an inconsistent shooter. So that's, one thing going into the tournament. If there's no Adis Toney, it's not a matter of how you're going to win these games. there's only so much, I guess, energy that the starters need to expound upon, or just let on the floor, and then hope to have it back by Friday. I think in basketball you can pull it off.
I think you can. I'm much more of a stay in rhythm. Yeah, it does suck that you'd be playing, 3 days back to back to back, and that does take a lot out of you. But you are able to rest at least 4 or 5 days. So therefore, as much as these guys play, as much minutes, especially the minutes that all these guys have been able to play, that shouldn't really be that big of a problem. I'm much more of in basketball, you don't need to worry about draining yourself in the tank when it comes to a conference tournament, because it's so much easier to recuperate your body in a sport like basketball than say other sports.
Little 15 minutes of ice, 15 minutes of heat.
Keep the momentum going. There's no need to try to purposely cut the momentum in half.
All right, we'll take the break in a moment here. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. We have no guests here in the second hour, so it's just you and us. And thanks to our friends at Crabtree RV Center in Alma for serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for 72 years. Family-owned business located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 on a 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot indoor showroom floor, RV park, service and parts department, everything you need all in one convenient location. And they're there to serve you at Crabtree RV Monday through Saturday. So go by and see Bert and all the gang, and make sure you tell them we sent you. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, right next to the Cracker Barrel. Halftime returning after a quick break.
No more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go play.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Really happy to announce that Manscaped is now supporting the Hit That Line podcast network. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they're offering you the new Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle Performance Package. Join over 4 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Just enter the code HTL at manscaped.com. Again, that's HTL at manscaped.com. I think if my math's right, that's 8 million balls. Inside this package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Provider toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Boxers and Shed travel bag are a free addition, and they bring it to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HTL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code HTL. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE.
Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The Must Bus is on the road, and so are we. Our live coverage at the SEC Tournament in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks in Rogers.
Guys being dudes.
They see me mowing my front lawn. I know they're all thinking I'm so wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Think I'm just too wide and nerdy. Can't you see I'm wide and nerdy? Look at me, I'm wide and nerdy.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
I go back to some of these other Final Fours in recent years. And this argument that playing for a league championship will diminish your chances to advance to the Final Four is just simply incorrect. It's false. It sounds like it makes sense, but it's not true. It's not true at all. And in baseball, it's also not true. That's just a fact, because I remember having this conversation last year before the SEC baseball tournament started, and I had pointed out to the previous national champion Vanderbilt, they played for the SEC championship that same year. I mean, Tennessee played for the SEC championship, and Arkansas beat them in Hoover. And Tennessee ends up going to Omaha. Didn't seem to affect them very much. Nope. It sounds good. It doesn't work. It's not true. Teams that know how to win games, that continue to win games, that's just what they do. When you get on the basketball court, when you get on the football field, when you get on the baseball field, whatever it is you're competing, you're there to win that game, and I think most athletes have that exact mindset. So do the coaches. You're not coaching for the week after. Normally, you're not playing for the week after. Normally, you're playing to win the game that's right in front of you. Here, I'm just looking at this here. The Auburn Tigers won the 2019 SEC basketball tournament. They went to the Final Four.
That is correct.
In 2018, Villanova, Kansas, Loyola, and Michigan were all league tournament champions, and they all advanced to the Final Four. So this whole thought, like, I'm not going to tell you that making the Final Four means less than winning the SEC championship. But winning the SEC tournament does not mean that it's going to diminish your chances to go to the Final Four. Just like winning an SEC baseball tournament is not going to diminish your chances to win a first round, a second round, go to Omaha. There's too many examples of teams doing both.
And you're exactly right. And I don't know where that whole thing does start. Maybe it's just being a fan going, oh, no, they had more rest than we did. They had more time to prepare than we did because we were playing X amount more games than they did. And you get wrapped up in your head and you start to think that these athletes, of world-renowned athletes, which is what they all are, aren't going to be able to recover. That one day of rest or that one less practice is really going to mess them up when you get to this part of the season. When you get to postseason play in any sport, you're going to be at your peak. You're going to hopefully be at your best if you're 100% healthy. So I don't know where that whole thing started, but it's something that always comes up, especially around teams that aren't guaranteed to kind of win their conference title. I don't think anybody in Washington right now, outside of Spokane, is begging. Or it's sad that Gonzaga is in the championship game against St. Mary's today. I don't think anybody's worried about Chet Holmgren and Drew Timme and company of being too tired, that it's going to diminish their chances at finally getting that national championship. It's one of those things that it sounds true, so it must be true.
Well, there's supposed to be like a logical thought behind it. It's not logical because it doesn't lead to.
But it
the
sounds like it would be. It sounds like it would be. So it's one of those things that's presented so understandable by everybody that you just think, okay, more games means more tired, means less prepared for the future. You can wrap your head around that, and you can kind of make it become common sense truth, even though it's not.
These guys are well-conditioned athletes. And by this time, look, I understand. Like they probably would like to rest a little bit, but by this time, it's a routine that they're used to.
Keep them in it. Don't cut momentum in half.
Well, and part of what makes this different is that you don't play games back-to-back days unless it's a conference tournament. Even if the only time you do it is Thanksgiving. You know, if you're in one of those things, and Arkansas did that and won both those games. You don't have to do that in the SEC.
Which is good preparation.
You don't do it in the national tournament. You never have to do that in a national tournament. So I can understand the idea behind this is you're using too much energy up, and you better be careful because next week means more. I'm not telling you next week doesn't mean more because it does. But the thought that winning the SEC championship or just playing for it is going to diminish your chances to advance in the tournament that matters more is just simply incorrect.
It is. And that's the thing. And like I said, it's just one of those things that us as fans have all kind of come together to kind of believe that it's true. When it really, like you've presented the facts, and I hope that everybody can agree, but it's just one of those things that people always worry about. And when you've got a good team like Arkansas has, there's always going to be those, well, what if questions, those ifs and buts questions that constantly come up with, well, what if we get this matchup? Well, what if, they had an extra day of rest than us? How big of an impact does that make? And you turn small things into large things. You take mountains,
Mountain out of a molehill?
Make a mountain out of a exactly. You make a mountain out of
mounds out of almond joy?
Exactly. Tomato. You make a mountain out of a molehill when in true fact it doesn't mean anything. It's all it is people worrying and making up their own concerns when there is no reason to be concerned.
877-377-6963. Text out of the 479 does make a good point. I mean, because the SEC is one of the tournaments that ends on Sunday. You get 15 of them that conclude on Saturday. We got 6 of them that conclude today. And, oh, by the way, most of the women's tournaments are finished. So, it won't hold water in that either.
No.
In fact, when I look at what happened to Arkansas women's basketball last year, they had 2 weeks between games. That's too much. It felt like it was too much. But then again, you're only going by what you saw in that very moment. There were other teams that hadn't played in 2 weeks, and some react in a positive way to it, some react in a negative way to it. And, yes, Arkansas did not win the SEC championship in either of the years that they played for the national title. But that also doesn't mean that it's necessarily a positive. We have too many examples of teams that won championships, league championships, or played for league championships.
It doesn't.
On Sunday, too. With Michigan State, that's the Big Ten. That's a Sunday. Kentucky did it and went to the Final Four. That's a Sunday. So
it's one of those things that it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're going to have success in the tournament. It doesn't mean you're not going to have success in the tournament if you're playing a game on Selection Sunday. The only thing it means is that you played basketball on Selection Sunday. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's bad, because when you get to March Madness, it's about seeding. It's about matchups. It's about who's hot and who's not. That's all that it is. In retrospect, the only thing that playing in a championship game does, besides being able to add something to a banner, add a trophy to the trophy cases, you played a basketball game that Sunday in March. That's it.
And the only time it makes a difference if you get a player hurt. Tim texts that in. Brady Slavens got injured at the SEC baseball tournament last year. I would also caution to say, hey, we did a whole segment last week about weird injuries. You never know how somebody's going to get injured sometimes. And sometimes there's a better chance to be injured than there is playing in a basketball game occasionally. And a lot of that has to do with happenstance, with coincidence. But the facts are there are so many teams that have played for a national title, made it to the Final Four, that made it to the final game of their conference tournament. Even if it's on a Sunday, it just won't matter very much. 877-377-6963. Hey, it's a Tuesday at Joe's Grilling Cantina. It's always a special day at Joe's Grilling Cantina, but Tuesdays are a little more special.
It's Taco Tuesday!
Crispy tacos are just $1 all day long. Pork carnita tacos, $2.25. The brisket and pork belly tacos are $3.25. And just 75 cents for your sides of beans and rice. Ultra drafts are just $2.25 all day long. Don't forget about their happy hour. House margaritas are $3. Voodoo tacos with crawfish are $2.50. And Joe's Grilling Cantina in Fort Smith has the ability to order online at joesfortsmith.com. Also use the Waiter app to order for Joe's Grilling Cantina, or just give them a visit across from the Harps. Halftime coming right back after this.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Sports fans, it's March Madness. Where are you going to bet? I know where I will. BUSR, of course. NCAA basketball, NBA, MLB, you name it, they got it. Besides sports and racing, you can play over 300 casino games at BUSR.com. And remember, no download is needed to play these games. Sign up today and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus by going to BUSR.com/morningrush. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.
Hardworking simplicity and serious durability. That's the winning combination you get when you pair a rugged Workmaster utility tractor with a Dura-Disc heavy-duty disc mower, both from New Holland and Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas. You'll maximize the tonnage of your hayfield by slicing a clean, close swath up to 10 foot 4 inches wide, all while operating in confidence and comfort with a Workmaster tractor with high visibility all-weather cab. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat of Northwest Arkansas today to learn about this unstoppable New Holland team.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're a rich girl and you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch girl, but it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Say money, money won't get you too far, get you too far. Don't you know that it's wrong?
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Haven't seen anybody rock out quite like this to Rich Girl.
Nobody rocks harder than Hall & Oates.
Right
I
now
asked Drew, who rocks harder than Hall & Oates?
No one.
Correct.
Drew's rocking out with his mock out right now because he's
yeah.
celebrating
Let's go
Tennessee
Mocs.
Chattanooga's victory. That's what he's got going on after a half-court heave to win a conference championship. Put that mock away while you're at it, pretty please.
All right.
Look at that thing. 877-377-6963. I liked Andrew Ellis's piece in Hog Sports today, writing about young pitchers for Arkansas, specifically out of the bullpen. And this might be the direction the bullpen turns in a little bit because this coaching staff, yes, the song is older than me. And I don't know if
I don't think it is. I think you're older than Hall &
I am
Oates.
about the same age as Rich Girl. We'll have to look that up. If that came out in 79 or 80, I'm born in 77, Andy. So I think I might have a couple
1976.
What?
Oh, man.
Hall & Oates have been rocking that long.
Well, I was probably...
So they're the greatest rock band of the 70s and the 80s?
They were definitely from... That's when I started listening to them.
Nice.
But I was alive. I was somewhere between life and birth, I think. when
The
that
good
song
news
was
is
probably
Hall & Oates can keep you rocking from the cradle to the grave, baby.
Exactly.
That's
Rock
right.
on, Hall.
Where was I
Rock
going?
on, Oates.
Oh, that's right. Baseball with the pitching staff for Arkansas. I think the pitchers who have the fastest pitches, the most velocity on their pitches for relievers are probably the younger guys. I'm looking at Brady Tigert, who I think threw 96 or 97 miles an hour over the weekend when he picked up a save against Southeastern. So I'm thinking of him and thinking Nick Moten, Austin Ledbetter, who was the quarterback at Bryant, now pitching at Arkansas. I think he's a guy they're looking at. Nick Griffin is somebody that they certainly want to get some closing opportunities for, and I think Tigert too. I don't know if Cole Ramage necessarily right now is viewed as the closer because I think they're sort of shopping the position around a little bit. Bubba and I brought this up on the baseball game we did together Saturday. Kevin Kopps recorded his second save the first week of April last year. So he was not like it was Kevin Kopps being a star and being like the dude on the team last year was not a thing until you were 2 weeks into the SEC baseball schedule. So, I mean, that's like the closer position last year, the closer role last year was also one of those roles that was up for grabs. Like we've gone into seasons before where you know who the closer is. Matt Cronin. You knew Matt Cronin was going to be the closer going into 2018 and 2019. That was just how it was. You know, you had a sense of who would set him up too, in both seasons. You knew one year Zach Jackson was going to be your closer, 2015. That's just the way it was. Although Jacob Stone was given an opportunity that year and it didn't work out, Jackson took over and he was the guy. But you knew that kind of by the middle of March, toward the end of March. Right now you don't know exactly what it's going to be. And there's this little like tension between, and it's not teammates with tension against each other. It's the decisions that Dave and Matt come to as to who gets these moments when you're trying to shut a game down. And they err on the side of experience. So they err on the side of Cole Ramage. I don't know if they look at Zeb Vermillion as a closer, but they err on his side too. Evan Taylor, I think, is someone. I don't think they're looking for him to close, but I like what I've seen from Evan throwing strikes because his stuff will pitch if he throws strikes. But I do think they're looking at Brady Tigert, Nick Griffin as potential closers, and they're both freshmen. Griffin's a redshirt freshman. Tigert is a I don't remember what you call it, a true freshman. That's what it is. Those are the guys I think I'm looking at that could end up with a pretty heavy workload once you're getting into the middle of the SEC season. The young guys, I think, are a big reason why this Arkansas pitching staff can actually perform even a little bit better than they have been performing of late, because a lot of these young guys haven't really had an opportunity to get on the field yet.
No, they haven't. And once we see what they really have to bring in Dave Van Horn and his staff, they'll figure it out. When I almost feel ridiculous trying to break down some things when it can be just as simple as, especially when you're talking about a program ran by a coach as experienced and as successful as Dave Van Horn. Like, when people come with complaints like, I don't know how the pitching's going to work out. I don't know how the bat's ever going to wake up. Like, oh, my gosh, what's going to happen with this team? We're 2 weeks in. They haven't had a weekend sweep yet. What's going to happen? Like, I get that part of the fandomness of it because I've been there as a fan. But at the same time, when you have had as much success as DVH has, you just got to be like, look, he's going to figure it out. Everything's going to come into line. Everything's going to work out. So I'll just take a deep breath. But with this pitching, I think it's already shown that it's better than we thought. And there's still some question marks. And I think in this case, question marks are a good thing because you're not having to search with who can give us that, but it's more of, all right, now who all can give us that, because we know that there are people on that team that can get the job done, that can throw productive innings, that can get wins through a weekend series. Now you just got to figure out what else do we have, because I think we've already answered the question of, does this pitching staff have what it takes? Now we're going to have to answer, what else can this pitching staff accomplish? And the bats are going to wake up. I mean, it's just, there's too much talent.
We keep saying it, and there is too much talent. I want to see it happen this weekend.
It'll happen.
I really do. I mean, I want to see it this weekend. And by the way, I'd also like to see 4 baseball games this weekend, but I don't know if that's going to happen. They have not announced anything about it, but there have been hints dropped by Dave Van Horn that you probably will have a doubleheader on Thursday against the Flames of Illinois Chicago. Friday, it's pretty much just let's put it up there that you ain't going to play.
Put the tarp on and
30-degree high, snow, 40-degree high on Saturday, and hopefully enough sunshine to melt whatever snow is on the baseball field. Otherwise, you can't play Saturday, and you can't have a doubleheader on Sunday because it's getaway day for a non-conference opponent, and you can't do that. So I don't want to just see 3 games.
No.
I want to see 4. But we're not going to do 2 doubleheaders, so I'm not quite sure if that's actually going to work out. I know one thing that will work out is Riley Farm Dental. Our friends Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan serving to give patients better lives, comfortable experiences with all dental procedures provided, braces, implants, cosmetics, and the simple stuff. That's Riley Farm Dental at the entrance of Riley Farms, Highway 71 in Fort Smith, been voted top 3 best of the best 4 consecutive years. You can visit them at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Call 226-3500. And their website, pretty simple, RileyFarmDental.com. At halftime, it's 877-377-6963. Closing up shop next.
Okay, I got it. Rubber band motor, humming on the beach, ready for fun. Quit spinning that web and come out and play in the sun. 8 thimble-sized cylinders to be as smooth as you please. The spider's badass fat old abdomen stuck in the bucket seat. Little dune bug out in the sand. Little blue dune bug out in my hand.
It's spring sell time at Jelco Outdoors this Friday and Saturday. Get ready for spring fishing and turkey season. Check out the new gear for spring 2022. Register for guided bass, crappie, and catfish fishing trips. Jelco is open 9 to 6 on Friday and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Get into the swing of spring at Jelco Outdoors this weekend. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
My property is disgusting. Who should I call to clean it?
You can call me, Mike Van Jr. My company, Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, is a full-service power washing business with over 15 years of residential and commercial experience here in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas.
Looking at your website, mjmobilewash.com, your home cleaning includes fence, driveway, gutters, pool, and more. Plus, you work with companies like ArcBest and Randall Ford.
Yeah, Ty. My team removes dirt, grime, mold, and more. Call me at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith now has vaccinations available for ages 5 and up. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna vaccines. These vaccines are safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Come tour the 2022 Showcase Home located in Stoneshire at Chaffee Crossing. This impressive two-story white brick home with black and wood accents features high-efficiency natural gas heating, tankless water heating, cooking, fireplace, and outdoor grilling. Tour this year's Showcase Home March 4th through the 13th, 1 to 6 p.m. daily in Fort Smith. Natural gas from AOG. More comfort, less cost.
Planning to paint? Then shop Metters Lumber True Value for these great deals. Right now, Scotch Blue Original Painter's Tape is just $3.50 for the 60-yard by .94-inch roll. Or just pay $5.50 for the 60-yard by 1.41-inch tape. Or $6.50 for the 60-yard by 1.80-inch style. This multi-use tape removes cleanly without damage for up to 14 days after you paint. Pick up these bargains of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
You hate the internet you got, you live anywhere near the Clarksville zone for Wave Rural Connect, well, you need to give them a call at 833-4WAVE-RC or sign up at signup.waveruralconnect.com. So if you live in the Clarksville zone that covers areas south of, areas north and west of Clarksville, Ozone, Oark, Lake Ludwig, Harmony, Mount Vernon, and the areas in between, and you're a member of Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative, then you can get Wave Rural Connect Internet. fastest internet that you can get, period. And it starts at $49.95 per month. 833-4WAVE-RC or sign up .waveruralconnect.com. Wave Rural Connect and Arkansas Valley Electric, changing the communities that they serve. Seattle and Denver are being changed. Speaking of communities, a massive trade. Massive.
Breaking news. We have the sound.
I saw this on various sources. Tom Pelissero, Adam Schefter. Seahawks and Broncos have agreed in principle on a trade sending Russell Wilson to Denver for what is referred to as a massive haul, including multiple first-round draft choices, plus additional picks and players.
Wow. So who are the other players that are getting involved in this? Because it's not just Russell Westbrook and then draft picks being sent and then players being sent. Somebody's coming from Seattle with him. Like, this has to be like the way it's explained and kind of been tweeted out about in the last 10 minutes since it broke is that it's a pretty big haul, a lot bigger than what you're used to in football, that it could be, maybe 4 or 5 guys from each side type of situation where a lot of people are going to have to pack up and move. But good for Denver. Is Seattle banking on that they can get the quarterback of the future this year? Or are they willing to take a year off?
Draft this year, I just keep hearing, Malik Willis might have the best overall package, the best arm, but he's very inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. Inconsistent, very much so.
Kenny Pickett doesn't have the hand size. Matt Corral is injured. I don't know who, it's just not a great class necessarily. So who are you going to get? And if you're the Broncos, I guess this is the way things go now. You failed drafting quarterbacks.
It's the only way John Elway can win is by making these big trades or by getting guys to come to Denver in the last years of their career, like he did with Peyton Manning. And I think Russell Wilson is in that same boat.
Do you remember?
He doesn't have that many years left in him.
Do you remember how many picks Denver got from the Rams for trading when they traded Von Miller? Because I assume they know they've got a certain amount of first-round picks. I would think they get a first-rounder or something from the Rams. And
I don't actually think they got a first-round pick from him. I think they got a second and a third. They got two picks out of it, but I don't think it went for a first-round pick. I want to say it was a day 2 and a day 3 pick.
This isn't going to be like a Herschel Walker trade. When, did the Cowboys trade? Forget how many draft choices the Cowboys got from Minnesota to get Herschel Walker, but that was essentially the trade that helped them build the dynasty of the 1990s. Is this the same kind of haul that the Seattle Seahawks are going to get?
You're obviously hoping so.
If you're Seahawk fans, this is crushing, man. I mean, you had to expect it. You knew Wilson was on the block.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just crushing for them.
And, I mean, we've been hearing for months that the Wilson-Pete Carroll era is coming to an end. Now, obviously, it is 100% in the books, and it's done with him going into this trade for Denver. But what's a guy like DK Metcalf's got to be thinking right now? Is he involved in this massive blockbuster trade? Because he's going to start being kind of forgotten out there if he doesn't have the right quarterback to get him the ball.
JT says they got, how many? Was it about 7 picks or was it 7 picks? Because you can't get about.
Yeah.
I know that they
got 7.5 guys.
Man, and that trade worked out so well for Dallas and so poorly for Minnesota. I don't remember much about Herschel Walker with Minnesota. I don't think he was terrible there, but he wasn't what they, thought he was going to be, which now is a Senate candidate. So what on the same day, man, you're getting news about Herschel, about Aaron Rodgers, and about Russell Wilson. So
that's the thing about the NFL. That's the thing about the NFL. They're always gonna, as soon as you start to forget what's going on with them, they're gonna make sure they're a talking point across the nation on every sports station, across everybody's Twitter feed.
Out there about Rodgers just a couple days ago about
NFL never has an off season.
Maybe the Broncos. Well, then that's what they want. That's what any sport would want, but never to have an off season, and for the news of how teams are being built or rebuilt and the drama about it is supposed to be part of the fun of following that sport. It's one of the things about the lockout that has sucked so badly for Major League Baseball is there's legitimately nothing to follow outside of the Hall of Fame voting, which wasn't very fun to follow this year either. And that's it.
Yeah, no hot stove, no
college
no winter
football's
meetings.
become a 12-month-a-year sport. I don't think college basketball has. Baseball used to be a 12-month-a-year sport. The whole idea of hot stove just came from off-season baseball talk. And now off-season baseball talk is all arguments about rules changes and people telling others that they're morons on social media and in person about their arguments about why somebody deserves to be in the Hall of Fame or why somebody doesn't. None of it has to do with the actual game itself. And that's why, I guess the owners came back with some sort of increase in the competitive luxury tax balance or whatever it's called.
We're still miles apart.
I'm just so not interested
getting started
in it anymore. Not at all. I do like the idea of the pitch clock of 19 seconds and 14 seconds. Did you see that? They're going to do 19 seconds bases with a runner on base, 14 seconds with the bases empty.
Which I've seen it in minor league games before, and you really don't notice it. And I've heard some people talk about, even though it's called a pitch clock, it's more on the batter because most pitchers are fast-paced nowadays. They get the ball, get the sign, ready to go. It's the batters. It's the cut down on the batters being able to undo the batting gloves, bait the cleats, check the calf brace, and just get up there and get ready to swing. This is more on the hitters in this situation, and I never really even noticed it at games where I saw a pitch clock. Well,
apparently there was a 20-minute difference in the single A league where they instituted these pitch clocks last year. That's a number that means something, I think. And hopefully it doesn't change the game too much.
I hope it doesn't.
Got to have games first for it to matter, and they don't have games right now. All right, we've made it to another award-winning edition of Halftime.
Break out the tux? Now I can break it out?
Well, we'll have our award session tomorrow. How about that?
All right, I'll wear it tomorrow.
Maybe you don't have enough time to take it to the dry cleaner. All right, for Maddie and Drew, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Now, get up, get out, and get better.